There we go. Yeah, just a little tad behind. Nothing major here. Nothing going on. I was talking to Cyber Patriot on Messenger before the show. He might call in a bit later, stir the pot, see what we're talking about, what we're going to do. You know, before we get started, a few weeks ago, I think it was Rob. And I like Rob. Make no mistake. And I'm not tearing him down. I just want to make it clear that we were talking about something. Oh, yeah. I don't remember what we were talking about. But he said, his response was, but you're our leader. No, sir. I am not your leader. And I can't be your leader because, well, I can't be everywhere at once. I am your advisor. Tell you things you should do, you might want to do. What you do, what you decide to do, well, that's entirely up to you. You know, tonight I want to talk a little bit about, you know, we've talked, you have the family members, we all do. We're talking about the family members who make their smart-ass comments to you about being a prepper. And they're just, you know, and how ridiculous you are and how paranoid you are. Guess what? Those are the dimwits that are going to be knocking on your door when they're at death's doorstop because, you know what? They didn't prepare. They didn't want to believe. That's their problem. And granted, it's a question that preppers have been faced with for some time. And let me fix this. This is a little crazy. There we go. A little bit better there, yeah? All right. So preppers have been faced with this situation for a while. And, hey, guys, I got Cyber Patriot, Porky Wheel. Mike Kelly from North Dakota is even in the house. He must be done out of the kitchen. All right, we got there. And Dawn is in the house because she's a mad woman, and she's a lot of fun, actually. But anyways, so let's talk about these people. Because, like I said, this is the age-old question. You know, what are you going to do? Turn me away? Are you not going to feed and water me when the grid goes down? You're not going to let me come over to your house? You know damn well that they're going to be there. So we have to do. So I found this article, and I want to share it with you. I really do. It's a touchy subject that I, quite frankly, do not want to touch on due to the controversy that can cause. Well, you know what? I don't care about the controversy. I care about you, my listeners, and some of the issues you're going to face being a prepper, whether you're in a group or you decide to lone wolf it. That's up to you. So ironically, this is the very reason that we decided to do it. And the subject is as unpleasant, therefore it needs to be discussed. Let's face it, learning how to sail a boat during a storm is a surefire way to get yourself killed. So trying to decide what to do in this situation while it is happening can have some negative consequences. As you know, I don't claim to be an expert, nor, you know, I'm not. I'm an aggregator. I find stuff all over the net to bring to you live here on this show. Let's face it, you don't want to do it? That's cool. I'll do it for you. Just listen to my show. Throw me a couple bucks on patreon.com. I'd be happy. But we do have some very strong feelings about this, and we tend to look at the situation in a black and white logical manner. Of course, logic will have little or no bearing when you have 5 people at your door begging for food they think you have to spare. Whether you do or not does not matter. So let's get into it, all right? So most preppers are survivalists, have thought about this topic, and while some have an idea or plan of what they would do, it is really hard to say what you're going to do until you're in the thick of it. So part of preparing is to having the skills and the plan to deal with the ugly side of humanity, who will be knocking on who? Your door. Even if you have 100% solid OPSEC, and there is another soul who knows about your 6-month supply of necessities, they will what? Come knocking. So even if you like us and aren't preppers per se, but lean more on the side of homesteading, They might come knocking. Or they'll break your door in. Are you ready for that? So for those of you who have tried to talk to people, wake them up to the need to have just some food and whatnot, sit back just in case, only to hear them say, let's say it together, well, if something bad happens, I'll just come to your house. You need to tell them loud and clear, no, you cannot come to whose house? My house. It doesn't matter if they're saying it in a joking manner, because they aren't joking. They're serious about it. And it doesn't matter if it'll tick them off or offend them. They need to understand that you are serious, that you are not FEMA, the local government, or their parents. So this is a real conversation I had not too long ago, this very topic at my day job. It was one of the paraprofessionals I know. Them, well, if it all goes crazy, I'll just come to your house since I would have all I need. Me, oh no, I don't think so. That would not be a good move on your part. I don't have anything for you at my house or anywhere else. Them, but you just said you're building a 3-month food supply. There is plenty extra to share. And right about now, you can just feel that you just want to say, what in the hell is wrong with you? But you keep your cool. And you say, you're right. I am trying to build a 3-month food supply of food for 2 people. How long do you think it will last if you and your 3 maggoty kids come along? Not only that, even if I had only enough extra for 2 weeks, what makes you think it is acceptable to come to my place and expect me to take care of you and your maggoty children with my resources that I worked for, saved for, and put up? And then they say, but we've known each other forever. Would you really turn me and my hungry kids away? Me? Yes. Yes, I would. You acknowledge there is a need to prepare and yet don't. You assume that it is okay for you to come to my house and eat up my food and resources without offering anything in return. Now, needless to say, the smile is gone from their face at this point, and they do not look very happy. And then, of course, they throw out, well, wow, I guess I never expected you to be so greedy. Greedy? How is it being greedy to work, save, and plan for my family to make it through some hard times and not want to just give it away to someone who didn't take care of their own? Well, not sharing when others are in need. Okay, let me ask you something. I am out of ammo for my .22 rifle. You have some, and I want you to share it. You know you can't get it anymore, but since I am in need, I think you should give it to me. Well, you should have stocked up some like we did. We need it ourselves. Well, that's completely different than if my kids were starving. No, it isn't. You stocked up when you could, and now you have supplies. I am stocking food a little at a time, so I will have it if needed. It is not my responsibility to prepare for my family and yours. I am not FEMA, and I'm certainly not the local charity. I worked, I planned, I have. And I may have had to go through a lot of marital strife to get to that point. Lack of planning and foresight on your part does not make a responsibility, emergency, or obligation on my part. Of course, by this time, they're probably looking at you like you're so inhumane and greedy. They don't know what to do. So you say, you're an able-bodied person who can choose to do the same thing I am, or you can expect that the government will swoop in and hand over whatever you need in the quantity you're used to, because we all saw how well that worked during Katrina and Sandy. What world do you live in that makes you think that is acceptable? I am not the government. I am not FEMA for the 3rd time. I don't have the supplies you think I do. Why should I expect to just freely give over what I have to you, other than the fact you vote Democrat and you're a socialist and we want to share the misery equally? No. How can you even expect that would be a given or a normal thing? Do you just hand over what you have to people without expecting anything in return? Well, then they might say, you know, well, no, but you were talking about the grid being down or some other disaster. People need each other to help get through it. Yes, people do have to help each other make it. But first, they need to help themselves. I'm not saying that I would be that guy who just turns people away on principle. If people are willing to work with me and the group for the betterment of all, then I am right there next to them. But that person who just expects you should share without contributing anything, or even trying to barter, will not be welcome. Needless to say, that person is much less friendly toward me than they used to be. I consider it worth it if they started to think about what I said and began planning their own family needs. Now consider having this conversation with your family members. And you know who I'm talking about. We all have them, and they're there. Your lazy cousin who spends more time trying to get free entitlements from the government than they would if they just got a damn job. The aunt who lives high and mighty in her huge home worth $500,000 but only shops for food once a week and never has anything extra. How about your siblings who tease you constantly about being a doomsday prepper while they go into debt just to get the latest freaking iPhone? All of these people will come to your home when they run out of food or even before, hoarding what they have but expecting you to share all you have and other supplies. So how are you going to handle it? That's the question. And there is no perfect answer here. The worst solution you can go with is to just freely let them in because it puts your immediate family in jeopardy of not surviving the disaster. I don't care about that. I told you I don't care about that. Go away. There you go. Now, there are solutions that can be worked out beforehand, though. Offering to store supplies for them, if able, is one. Giving them a shopping list of extra stuff to buy here and there and then storing it at your home is a great way to make sure that the people you know will come have been accounted and planned for. Even if it is a little, that is better than nothing. Now, what you can do this holiday season is this. Buy preparedness items as Christmas and birthday gifts. Of course, these are these are only those I really care about or worry over. Just know in my heart that they will come running if the shit hits the fan, and guaranteed they will come. I explain to them what it is and why I am giving it to them. I explain that since they will not listen, the items are their key to being let in. They will not come empty-handed and will contribute to the group overall. Well, some are actually very grateful. More than one commented about it was kind to think of their emergency needs and supplies, and it's cheaper than the average Christmas present, too, if you want to really get down to brass tacks. I would like to believe that people will band together and do whatever they can to help each other, and there will certainly be that at first. But when your 3-year-old is so hungry that they don't even cry for food anymore, just stare at the dull, blank look, kind of like Al Franken nowadays, what would you do? That's right, whatever it took. There is a large risk with any of the above suggestions, of course. It is likely that these people will tell others, I have 20 pounds of rice and beans stored at my cousin's house in case of a disaster. That causes less security for not only them, but you as well. The people they told will show up either with them or alone, and when you tell them you have nothing at all, they'll say, but so-and-so told me you have all this food. When you tell them no again, they will likely get ticked off and come back with what? More people to take what you may or may not have. You could be telling the truth. When you say you have nothing left but hungry, people aren't thinking logically. They will not believe you or care and are bent on getting inside to take whatever they believe you have. It is really easy for people to be generous with supplies they took from someone else or were given by the government. That which is not earned has no value. You're saying, John, where did you hear that from? I'm going to tell you. Starship Troopers, beginning. Something given has no value. Now, I find myself getting hardened to the prevalent mindset of people today, particularly those who only consume and do not create or contribute. They don't try to learn how to preserve food or provide for themselves at all. Only consume. Like the blue locust. Blue locust is a Democrat voter. They move into those districts and they consume everything. Consume. And when they're done consuming, they're like locusts. They'll move on to a different area and they'll consume all that. We'll raise taxes, make things go broke. Consume. That's all they're doing. What really gets me is the people on food stamps who spend a fortune on steak and lobsters dinners, but refuse to get a 20-pound bag of rice, beans, and oats to make sure they have enough food in a bad situation. Like when there are no more food stamps accepted or the stores are wiped clean. Now, before you get all twisted and think I'm getting down on people who use food stamps, stop. I'm not. I use it to make a point how people these days focus primarily on the now and never. Consider the later because there will be more on the card next month because we've consumed. The majority of the population never considers that during martial law, stores can and likely will be shut down completely. In a large disaster, there will be no 911 to call, no police to come to your rescue, and hungry mobs are breaking into your house to take your last grains of rice. Law officials will either be dealing with something else or take care of their own family. If the power goes out for a long time, say goodbye to having clean running water, by the way. When people get desperate enough, they will go out looking for whatever they find. That sweet teenager who helps mow your lawn every summer could turn into a gun-toting looter if hungry and desperate enough. We here in America are so used to seeing these things happen on TV and in other places that they couldn't possibly fathom it actually happening here and to them. And that is their first mistake. Don't pay for it. Am I right? Am I wrong? Cyber Patriot, I'm getting you started. Let's get you wound up, baby. Let's get you twisted and wound up. What am I going to tell you? No, we're not going to send food to Porky Wheel. He should have been here before it all went down. Let me see. What was Brandon saying? My good friend Brandon, did you even hear my episode last week? I talked about your industry specifically. He says, well, John, if they could just made the minimum wage of $1,000 an hour, we could all afford that mountain stronghold and catch of prepared supplies. Yes, if only. If only. What the hell? What is it? What's Chuck bitching about? Give me a BTR aggregator link, or I swear I'll visit you as a ghost of Christmas past. I don't have a link for the BTR aggregator. What are you talking? Just call in, dude. You don't need the link. You can call in. You don't need that link. 516-453-9389. Again, 516-453-9389. I got a caller. Area code 253. Go ahead. Area code 253. You're on. Oh, that's right. He does have the problems with delay when he calls in. That's true. I did pick up the phone. You're not answering. Make her call back again. Unless, of course, this damn computer has let me down once again, which I would not be surprised if that's exactly what happened. So, what else we got here? Yep. I must have struck a nerve with a lot of you just looking at mean, I'm glad to see Mike Kelly's in tonight. I'm just scrolling briefly over the chat room, see if, oh, yeah. Porky Wheel would like to have an M1911 45 caliber pistol, but considering the fact that the Crown, that is, because he lives in Northern Ireland, the Crown has denied him the right to own any firearms except for a shotgun and 200 shells. Because the Crown fears that the people would turn those same weapons upon the Crown themselves. He's been told repeatedly no by the Crown, but yet he refuses to accept that answer. Oh, what's she doing now? He's trying again. All right, go ahead. You're on. Something's up with Dawn's phone. I cannot hear her. That's all right. I'll just leave it there. What else we got here? Okay. So tomorrow we got Thanksgiving. Be thankful Hillary is not the president of these United States. Think about it. It's at my end? You think so? Well, if it's at my end, I am even more irritated than I can imagine. Let me see if I can fix this on the run here. If not, then this will not be work. Let's test it first. Okay. Playback. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what else. That seems to be all right. Oh, well, I cannot hear. That's okay, though. I'd love to hear you all call in, but sometimes, what I got to do? I got to bite the bullet. I'm going to have to buy like a gamer computer. That'll be fast enough for all this. I think this poor computer just can't handle all the workload. Unfortunately, I can't hear anybody that's calling. That sucks. All right, that's okay. Fix it next time. So. Yes, that's right, Brandon. The NSA is shutting Dawn down. It's all right. So, my question to you is this. Tomorrow during Thanksgiving, if you're going to be having it, say at your sister-in-law's house where you might have to be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, are you going to discuss your preps? Are you going to talk to anybody there about your preps? I'm curious. You see, I've talked to my family, my in-laws, and my family members about it. The in-laws think I'm out of my mind. My family, not my wife's, my family seems to say, yeah, okay, whatever. I even offered, I said, give me $20 a month. I will buy what and I'll have stuff put away for you. You don't have to even store it. I'll do it for you. We can't afford that. You can't afford $20 a month to prepare today to survive tomorrow. I don't know. Chuck, I don't know if it's the motherboard or what, but I'm very unhappy. We'll try and get it. This damn thing's conked out again. And I did a restart, and it was working fine. Now it doesn't work at all. I've got to get another computer. I just have to. I can't keep doing this. Especially with what I've got planned coming up for CRN after the first of the year. By the way, update will be this. I'm hoping to have an online store up and running by the first week of December. That's what I'm hoping. That's the plan. You know, Dawn makes a point. She says all she was going to say is that there are plenty of people who are deliberately not prepping. Yes, and you know why? Because they expect the government to come in there and hand them everything they've always had. You know, if you think about it, FEMA has to prep. This is a FEMA mission. Let's not get bogged down in legalese and political talk. FEMA's mission is to be the prepper for 315 million Americans. That's the bottom line. And it's, I think, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, I think because they've been around now, they've had a lot of experience with stuff, I think they still have an impossible task. Impossible. You know, here we saw what happened in Houston on the mainland United States. And it was a bear for them, but they did, you know, I thought they did the best they could. And then Puerto Rico, which is an island, you know, people are bitching, well, why isn't Trump doing more? What more do you want the man to do? What more do you want him to do? And I can't, my liberal mother and I got into it over that. I said, what more do you want Trump to do? He's done it. Well, they don't have the supplies in there. I said, the hell they don't. What they don't have is a harbor that's functioning. I said, you can't offload supplies without a harbor. You can do it a little bit at a time. And then you guess what? And Brandon's going to agree with me 100%. And even if they did have the harbor running, they still got to get it on the trucks and get it to the distribution centers. And that wasn't happening. How in the hell is that Trump's fault? Oh, well, I forgot. He and Bush have the hurricane button. I forgot. Silly me. Chuck says FEMA will steal everyone else's preps. Only if you know they got them. Yeah, I know. What else we got there? I'm trying to think of what else here. Trying to, see what's going on here with, if you're not on the video feed on the CRN group page, you're missing, you're missing some of these guys in there. Okay. Okay. All right. For somehow, Dawn managed to make the connection with World of Warcraft. Don't ask me how she made that connection. I don't know. Don't care. Dawn has her own thing going. If you like her show, Dawn has run across some people that have are thinking about doing shows here on CRN, and I think you're going to like it once we get going with it here. What else have we got? Okay. All right. Dawn's flipping out with Chuck. Okay. All right. In the meantime, so when your family comes knocking on the door, we're hungry, we're thirsty, what are you going to do? Think about it. I don't expect you to answer it. I don't expect anybody to publicly answer that question whatsoever. You're going to be in a tough situation as it is. It's going to get tougher. Especially when you got those freeloading bastards who sat there and chided you and ridiculed you and made fun of you and just rolled all over you. And yet here they are at death's doorstep, hungry and thirsty. I've made it known to all my family members, You don't prep, don't come knocking on my door. The only person that gets that free pass is my daughter. That's it. No more, no less. Unless you come with your own supplies. You bring your own supplies, come on in. No problem. I'm not going to take care of you. I am not your parent. I'm the parent of one child. Just one. And you ain't it. Oh. So again, you're at Thanksgiving dinner. You going to say anything? Or better yet, let me ask you this. As a prepper, and they start saying, hey, are you still prepping for the end of the world? Are you going to take their bullshit, or are you going to tell them to fuck off and die? That's right. I'm using salty language on Thanksgiving Eve. I said it. That's right. It's my radio station. I'll say it if I want. You going to tell them to fuck off and die? Because that will end all arguments. That will end all doubt in their little minds. Go back to your weekends where you sit around watching football and you're, spending money, buying new cars, and, just going crazy. Instead of taking a little bit of that money and putting aside some preps. I mean, seriously. I want to know. And I hate to say it, but that's, unfortunately the way it's going to be. Let me see if I can get this thing working again. Yeah, if you're just tuning in, I can't hear anything. It looks like something went out. Something went out. Yes, there's a problem with the drive. You think so? You think there's a problem with the drive? Really? Thanks for the heads up. Jesus. Why? All right. Okay. Oh, now it's like you lost the feed too. Great. Just freaking great. That's typical. But if listen through BTR, hopefully that's still going, or is that not going? I can't tell. Yes. FOAD. There's a blast from the past. Yes, Porky Wheel, it is. But I'll tell you this. It ends everything right then and now. Done. They know where you stand, and you know where they stand. We're not going to be sitting here screwing around with it. Just not going to. I know you're all trying to call in. I'd love to get you in, but the phone line just is not working tonight. And it's not BTR. It's this computer, which is irritating me. He wants the BTR link. Let me see if I can do it here. I don't know if I can. No, I can't pull it off. It will not let me do it once the show gets started. Otherwise, I lose everything. So the choice is keep the show going, and where I can't get callers in, which just irritates the hell out of me because I want to hear from you guys. Especially when I got pretty good group of people going. And just typical. All right. Anyways. So think about what it is you're going to do. Because people are come knocking on your door. Even if we could presuppose this. Let's suppose you decide to bug out and you're at your area of operation, your AO. And it's not the Golden Horde. Let's say it's, 10, 12 people coming down the road. and they come up to your security checkpoint, which you should already have manned. And they're looking for food and water. And yes, they have children with them. You're going to have to make that decision. Let them in. Don't let them in. Give them, a case of, pork and beans and send them on their way. And, you can send them on their way, but the fact is, what if they decide we're going to camp out across the road from your security checkpoint? What are you going to do then? Just an idea. I'm just putting it out there because there's going to be a time when that situation does happen. Here, let's extrapolate even more. 10 to 12 people camp out across from your security checkpoint. Next week, 4 more people show. The week after that, 6 more show. Then 10 more. Next thing you know, you got 30 people camped out across the street or across from your security checkpoint in a field or whatever. And you got a tent city rocking and rolling right where you don't want them. What are you going to do? What are your options? You're going to shoot them? Well, we shot them because they wouldn't move. We shot them because they didn't prep and... Or how about this? Maybe we didn't shoot them. Maybe we just beat their ass. I don't know what else we can do with that situation. I don't. I wish I had an answer, and I don't have one. But let me ask you this. Is this a good enough subject that we should talk about this again next week? Or do you want to do maybe a part 2 show Sunday night? Your choice. Let me know. Just, for those that are listening, and you're on the video feed where I got the chat going. If you want to do that, we could do that. We could do that. Is this a good enough topic to speak on? Let's discuss the North Korean defector. I would like to, if you have not seen the video from the UN command and along the DMZ in Korea of the North Korean soldier who decided he's had enough of socialist and communist utopia that the deep prick offers. If you have not seen the video, please watch it. And the reason I think it's good, it's very interesting because they're able to see a lot of his defection. Everything from the vehicle running down the road to where the road ends and him bailing out of the vehicle, scrambling for freedom, and deep prick border troops are on his ass and they're shooting. You watch that guy making the mad dash. Shot 7 times. He's had 3 operations since then. Now you could see the ROC troops on the border scrambling to pull him, to safety. What is interesting is this. Now I don't know if you caught it, and I'm sure Cyber Patriot. You know what? If you don't have Sentinel Intel Group subscription, you need to get it. You need to get it. It's not that much. It's some really interesting things that Cyber Patriot has there, and I heartily encourage you to get a subscription. It has been reported over, especially in us in Korea, the defector's body was riddled with parasites. Now, about a week ago, it was finally made public that the DPRIC government, the communists have, because there's such a shortage of food over there in the socialist utopia that they just proclaimed for all, they told all military units, from now on, you are responsible for getting your own food. We're not going to send you food. Can't send what you don't have. So meanwhile, my question is this. Can we extrapolate, perhaps, that this soldier, whose body is riddled with parasites, maybe the DPRIC armed services are not as physically fit as we first thought? Are they, when you get parasites, you have dysentery, you have digestion problems, and the list goes on, and it doesn't get any better. Obviously, they don't have the correct medical treatment for the military. So can we extrapolate information based solely on that? I don't know. That's my question. Okay, Cyber Patriot made a really good point. God, I'm telling you, people, you need to get a subscription to Sentinel Intel Group. That's Cyber Patriot. I do not even want to know where he gets his information because I don't want to be visited by the NSA. I will, however, give out the information anyways because I don't care. Dawn has a very good, interesting observation. She says, I give North Korea about a decade before they fail as a human civilization. You know what? You might not be too far off. And that's another possible too, Chuck, and that is maybe we could wait out the North Koreans until they starve themselves. But North Korea has already announced, they're going to launch more nuclear missiles or missiles. We don't even know they're ballistic missiles. Whether they're nuclear tipped, I don't know. Anyways, so if you want to get some more information on this, Sentinel Intel Group has reported that the analysts are looking at the backpack of one of the North Korean border troops. Apparently, there's something very interesting there that has their curiosity piqued. So it's like, okay, we'll see. Just something to think about. And if it is the case, then perhaps North Korea isn't the military power that they want, that they think either. They know they're not the military power that they think they are, but they want the rest of the world to think that they are. It is true. They do have a lot of guns, a lot of ammunition, a lot of people, but those people are sick. And let's face it, the truth about socialism and communism is, if you're at the top of the food chain in that particular economic system, then life is good for you. On my way to basic training one night, we landed in Atlanta on the way to Fort McClellan, Alabama, back in 1983. 1983. Oh, God, am I that old? 1983. Sit in the front seat, and the lieutenant is talking to, I forgot who this young lieutenant was, our escort. He picked us up at Hartsfield in Atlanta, put us on the bus. Let's go back, off we go. But somehow I ended up in the front seat next to the lieutenant. I think I was like the last one on. So, who is he talking? Somebody. He was talking to somebody else, and I can't remember who the guy was. He wasn't part of the military. At least I don't think he was. And he asked the lieutenant a couple questions. He says, we don't think the Russian soldiers will fight that hard in Western Europe. But if he had to fight for, defending his homeland, he's going to fight a lot harder, which is true for most professional militaries. However, he did say this. He says, I believe that every Russian gets an egg for breakfast every morning. It's just that the leaders get 2 eggs. Hence my point of, if you're at the top of the food chain in that particular economic system, life is grand, it's okay. Case in point, when Castro died, it turned out his family had hundreds of millions of dollars stashed away. In a country where the communist system there, you're allowed 1 pound of beef a month, 1 pound of meat per month. Draw your own conclusions. Now, do I believe that those top military leaders in North Korea get 2 eggs? Yes, I do. And it appears that the frontline soldiers get zip unless they find a chicken. And God forbid, that's a hen. Don't eat the hen. You won't get any eggs. I mean, I'm just wondering about this. All right. What else did I get to? And you're right, Porky Wheel. The more sick they become, the more desperate they will be, which will become making it easier for them to decide to launch. Perhaps. I knew a guy from the Black Horse Division over in along the DMZ, and he told me, never mind. It doesn't really. Never mind. I'm not going to say anything about it. But if you are on the DMZ on the north side looking south, you will see the lights of Seoul, South Korea. A shining example of why capitalism works. If communism was so good, why the hell did the Russians abandon it? If you grew up in the late 80s and you paid attention, you remember seeing all the stories about the shortages. No bread, no toilet paper. It was finally the miners in the Soviet Union who didn't have enough soap to clean up after working in the mines. That is what sent it over the edge. That was the spark. Because they knew once you lose the will of the people, well, you're done. And that's exactly what happened. Yes, there are food shortages, critical food shortages, because their 5-year plans, which were good plans, just never came to fruition. Never worked. Just didn't. Now, if you're starving and you're a civilian in North Korea, like Porky Wheel, you are not allowed to have any weapons. But that gives no excuse to the deep prick military. The Korean Workers' Party, the upper echelons, do have access to weapons. And so the question becomes, why don't they just overthrow their government? My guess is because every time they even think about it or breathe a word about it, trying to create a conspiracy, somebody sees it as a way to get ahead, sells out that person, and that person disappears in the middle of the night in an unmarked grave. Why are we talking about this? It's got nothing to do with prepper or patriots, but I just thought I'd bring it out. But watch the man's tactics when he's running for the border. It's an all-out do or die, So I'm sure as he's getting the top quality medical care that he's never had in his life, he's telling the KCIA everything they want to know and things they probably don't know. Be very interesting, because they're not even giving this man, they're not even giving his name, his rank, nothing. But let's surmise a couple things, shall we? What we have is one man in a vehicle going balls out down the road. I don't believe a lowly private in the deep prick military would have access to a vehicle, much less be driving it by himself. So just something I picked up on. If you're watching the video, you're going to pick up on some things that I missed. But I'll say right now, the UN command along the DMZ, they got some pretty damn good cameras, and they can see pretty damn far. All right. Look, guys, Thanksgiving's tomorrow. I'm sorry I couldn't get to your calls. I wish I could. But I got to get better equipment. So that requires more money. So, hey, if you're listening to the show, you like it, throw me a couple bucks on patreon.com. Contra Radio. Just go to patreon.com, patreon.com. Type in Contra Radio Network. Throw me a couple bucks. I'd appreciate it. I really would. I mean, it's gotten so bad. My damn chair broke. I can't even lean back in my chair anymore. It's like, So hopefully next month I'll have enough money to go get a new office chair. All righty. Look, I want you all to have a safe Thanksgiving. Please overeat. Please put yourselves into food coma. If one of your liberal family members tries to go off about Trump, smack them down like the bad dog they are. The little precious snowflakes. There, tell them that. Tell them what I said. Tell them what I think about them. They don't like it too damn bad. They can just go to hell. All right, what else we got there? Oh, man, you guys are rocking and rolling this thing. Hey, Pat Linder's in there. Hey, Pat, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for checking in. You know, that poor guy. I hope he has tomorrow off. That'd be, I worked many years without getting any holidays off, so. All right. Again, please support Sentinel Intel Group. Look, I know times are tough. I know highs are coming up. But I'm telling you guys, the information on Sentinel Intel Group, you're going to go, ooh. I think it'll be worth it. And as soon as I get the online store up and running, I'll let you all know. I'll post it on the CRN like page and the CRN group page, and I'll talk about it here. Anything else? No, that's about it. Thanks for joining me tonight. I'm sorry. I apologize again that I couldn't get your calls through. I couldn't hear you. That's on my end. Sorry. I apologize profusely. So now you know why I need a few extra bucks from all of you. That'd be nice. Just a couple extra bucks would be nice. So until then, if you want to do this, if you want to do some more of this show on Sunday night, if you want to, we could talk about the subject matter again, that you're not staying at my house. Let me know. Just put it over on the, on the group page, the like page, whatever. I check it all the time, guys. I may not always answer you, but I do check it. I promise. And, let's see what we got there. Mm-hmm. All right, what else? Okay. All right. Me. What the? Get out of here, you bastard. All right, anyway. All right, then. I guess Chuck's in for Sunday night. You guys want to give me some time to figure out why this thing's not working again. All right, have a good Thanksgiving. Overeat. Enjoy your food coma. And just enjoy your time with your family. Because you know what? The day after Thanksgiving could very well be the last one for a while. You just never know. When a critical event occurs, the time for prepping is over. You go with what you got. And we don't know when that's going to be, but I will tell you this. If I was America's enemy, I would make sure I struck sometime in January through March. It's the middle of the winter for a good part of the country. Create more casualties and problems that way. But that's just my thinking. What do I know? The president does not include me on his national security loop, even though I think he should, but he doesn't. He doesn't even know me. That's all right. All right. Hey, for my prepper and patriot friends out there, I say to you this, be safe, be alert, be vigilant. Be careful driving. If you're going to go out later on tonight, remember it's amateur night. This is the biggest night for the bars, so it is amateur night. So be careful out there. I don't want to lose my listeners to something stupid like drunk driving. I really don't. All right. Thanks again for listening to the Jeffers Brief. That's right. That's what I'm going to call my new show now, the Jeffers Brief. I'm working on a new logo for it, all that stuff. But anyways, thanks for joining me tonight on the Jeffers Brief here on Contra Radio Network. I do appreciate you spending an hour of your week with me. Thank you so much. And if we get enough interest, we'll go ahead and we'll gin up a show for you on Sunday nights. Sunday night to see if we can't finish off this episode, because I think there's a lot more to be said. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Until then, I'm John Jeffers here for the Jeffers Brief on the Contra Radio Network saying good night and thank you for joining me.